Good day, Minecraftians. Purple Mentat here, bringing you episode 4 of my... what? No! Skullcrawler! That was, episode 4 of my Regrowth Let's Play. That was a great way to start things. That was amazing. Apparently, sometimes, I don't know if this is Ender Zoo or what's doing it, but sometimes when a skeleton or a zombie dies, the head won't, and it'll keep coming after you. And they can climb over walls. I just learned. Yikes. Friggin' mobs. So, we've done a lot of farming. I decided against just waiting for the nature seeds because there's actually a lot of other cool stuff we can check into. And honestly, I didn't want to wait hours before I started recording another one of these because I love this pack so much. It is so good. Okay, alright, enough fangirling, we're done. There are a bunch of other quest lines that we haven't even touched yet, and the first one that came to mind is, I believe it's in What the World Teaches? Yes, in What the World Teaches, we can make a book case and then a book binder, and get a bunch of orbs, drops of experience and books and all kinds of good stuff out of that, and I want to see where this quest line leads me. So, first thing we need to make is an oak book case. And that is from BiblioCraft, and it's made very simply like so. And we're going to hang it on the wall up here next to my pattern chest. And we're going to put the books in there because, you know, we made a bookcase. We should use it. So, right. If you right-click the bookcase with anything that's not a book, you will open an inventory, a graphical user interface so that you can put things in there manually. Otherwise, you can just shift right-click on the book to get it out, and you can right-click a book in there. Normally. Come on. What's going on here? I just did this. Why are you not working now? Maybe it only works with certain books. There we go. It works with the Tinker's books. It is not working with the materials and the basic materials and processing for mariculture. I believe that the developer of mariculture created his own book system called Enchiridion or something like that. I'm pronouncing it horribly, and I'd make no apologies. So that's probably why that's happening. So next on the crafting task is the bookbinder itself. Oh, you remember the various tomes of knowledge, but you remember there being a great number of them. It may be wise to prepare a place to store them before beginning your hunt for knowledge. So we need a book binder, which comes from that Enchiridion, mod, and it's just a bit of paper and a bit of string. Do I have any extra string? No, I used it all making my bed. And this cotton is taking its sweet time expanding, so we might have to abandon this for the moment. I'm not happy about that. Oh well, at least we have everything we'll need to make the paper when the time comes. In that case, let's move on from that to a bit of a personal quest. So, you can breed the flower seeds together. And if you do enough combining of the flower seeds, you're going to end up getting something very, very nice out of it in the long run. We're going to get this set up right now. We're going to breed dandelions with poppies. And if I breed poppy seeds with dandelions, well, we end up with a blue orchid because red plus yellow equals blue in this mod. And then we'll be able to use the blue orchid to breed with, I believe, both of these and make something else cool, which is pretty great. I cannot wait to get something that will allow me to increase the speed that plants grow passively because I have burned most of my bone meal testing it on my nature essence here, and I only have 6 left and I want to hang on to it for something more important than that. Alright, we got that set up. On to the next task. In the way the world works, not for making offerings, Runic Altar. Let's see what that takes to craft. The Runic Altar is going to require me to use a mana pearl or a mana diamond. Well, I do have a single ender pearl. Oh, you know what? There's headings to all of these in the What the World Teaches. Oh, actually, never mind. That's actually exactly what it does. Mana is the life pulse of the world. Manipulating it should give a better understanding of what may have happened here. The next thing you're aware that botanists employ is a device called a Runic Altar. This altar is not for worship or sacrifice, however. Rather, it is for crafting with mana. And I have an ender pearl that the last quest gave me. And I can toss it into my mana pool which is currently at a decent but not amazing level. Turn this into a mana pearl. Excellent. So that plus 5 of the living rock, and you know what? We can probably get that diluted mana pool turned into another mana pool now. Yes, we can. Not that we have enough mana production to need 2 mana pools yet. We will eventually. So 5 living rock, and my mana pearl generates my Runic Altar. Excellent. Pretty happy about that. 32 more floral fertilizer and a couple of mana pearls. So we got the irrenewable resource back. Yes, that'll do. Clay for days. Clay is quickly becoming an annoyingly scarce resource. Is it? I haven't noticed. Maybe if you put some clay in a pile with a flower and pray, some deity might answer your prayers with a better way to get some. So it wants me to gather 12 clay and a mystical light gray flower. Well, let's see what it actually takes me to get clay. The only way, red cobblestone, nope, that's not going to happen. I could do it in a vat, but I can't make a vat quite yet. Yeah, so the only way that I have to get clay balls at the moment is actually wandering the world and breaking the grass, which leads us back to a quest from what the world came to be, a sound solution. Collecting long grass and flowers by hand is starting to get annoying. The lexicon Botania describes a horn that, when sounded, encourages nearby plants to uproot themselves. Horn of the Wild, there we are. That's what I would like to make right now. And it's a fairly simple recipe in this one. You just need a pasture seed, which I think I used all of my pasture seeds, didn't I? They would probably be in one of my many farming chests. Does this have applied energistics? Okay, it does. I spent the last pack not using applied energistics out of sheer damnable stubbornness. And this time, I am not going to go down that path of madness. We will absolutely be setting up an applied energistics system eventually. However, that is a very eventually. All right, so I need grass in the mana pool to create a pasture seed. Unfortunately, that means I'm going to have to wander the world to get my pasture seed, and I'm going to need more living wood before I go about doing that. So let's actually make use of the pure daisies to make more living wood and living rock before we leave the house. Well, I call it a house. Encampment? Fortifications? Base camp. Yes, we'll call this base camp. We are eventually going to make this a much better, happier place. That's not going to happen today. Moving on. Let's check into what the world is made of. This essence seems to be a breakthrough. You wonder how many different materials can be created with it. First step, infusion. Ha! You can combine some essence with a mana-infused ender pearl and rule the world. I mean, you can make a stone, which lets you condense the magic of the essence into a more potent form. Step 1 is to get yourself a mana pearl, task where the player needs specific items, yep, and the next step is the weak infusion stone. If I take a look at the weak infusion stone, this can be crafted with 8 essence dust and a mana pearl. Sure, why not? We have 8 essence dust sitting around. 6, 7, 8. Running. I think I'm having more fun reading the quest titles than I ever expected to. This pack is fairly well written. Next step, I need to create some weak essence. Well, that's the other side of what all of this this essence dust is used for. If I take 4 essence dust and put it in a crafting table with the weak infusion stone at the center of it, we will be able to create weak essence. Yes, I've moved from one pack that uses a lot of magical crops to another pack that uses a lot of magical crops. I really like magical crops. Don't worry though, that won't be continuing in the long term. The next couple of packs that I'm looking at are very heavy on a different form of automated resource growth, which I believe is called fluxed crystals. All right, 71, 43. Everything takes so long to grow. Okay, so we've completed that. We get another ender pearl. Our choice of skeleton soul seeds or 16 weak essence. Well, if I take a look at the skeleton soul seeds, they're really nice, and they're rather hard to make. They take 3 regular essence, an essence seed, a couple of bones, and a couple of ruin of earth, and a Runic Altar. I don't even know how to make most of this stuff yet, and I'm not going to have the ability to make regular essence for a while. As such, I'm definitely going to grab those, because that will provide me with an infinitely renewable source of bone meal. If I take a look at the essence of, or can I look at like skeleton soul essence? No. Hang on. There we are. Essence of the skeleton. Fantastic. These can be used to make 10 bones for 3 essence. You can bet that I'm going to be abusing the heck out of that. Oh, I'm so happy about this. I can also turn them into more arrows if I decide that that is a better use of my skeleton seed than other options. So we're going to set up an entire plot of these because I think that I'm just going to end up using a ton of bone meal by the time this pack is over. Actually, I just thought of something great that I'm going to be working towards over the next few episodes. I think I'm going to be able to effectively infinitely produce bone meal, floral fertilizer, and the... Oh... What's the other stuff that I'm using that I'm working towards? The magic fertilizer. Yeah, that sounds like it's something that's worth industrializing early on. Well, not industrializing. That won't actually be automated. But I will be able to mass produce it just by hand, which is annoying. That's okay. All right, I am going to sleep through the night and set up that living stone and living wood and figure out what my next step is. Back in a moment. All right, I've decided that I'm going to prepare for adventure and head out wandering. Ooh, cotton's done. So that I can start getting some of the materials that I need to be able to complete a couple of those quests, things that I don't have in the house. Well, I say house. Specifically, the clay and the pasture seed are the things that I am going to be after, and I'm going to bring a crafting table with me so that I'll be able to do all of that out there. But first, I would really like to complete a couple more quests before I go anywhere. One, because I think it'll be a useful item to have, and one, because it's going to let me test something. So let me... Actually, I need to grab a bunch of logs, don't I? Yes, I'm going to need at least 7. That'll do. So, one of the quests that we have in What the World Embraces, these are some aspects of the world you have yet to investigate. Barreling forward. When you've just got far too much of something to store in a chest, why not chuck it in a barrel? Barrels will hold a single type of item, but can hold very large volumes of the item, acting as an attractive bulk storage option. Wants me to craft 1 better barrel and will give me 16 stickers and a barrel hammer. Items that I have never used in my experiences with better barrels, which is kind of sad. So if I put the oak chest and 7 spruce wood as well as a slab, I will get a better barrel. Fantastic. And the thing that I wanted to test here... Better barrels will unify items. I put these 5 carrot seeds in here, and then I right-click with another carrot seed. Okay, it will not store them. That's a shame. I had my hopes, but nope, it doesn't work. In such a case, we are going to rid ourselves of the carrot seeds with a Control-Shift-Alt-Click. Goodbye, welcome to the fiery abyss. Darn. There goes my dreams of mass-producing seeds and then mass-transmuting them all into the best seed that I had available of that type. By the way, this does also confirm that Control-Shift-Click will only move the carrot seeds and not also the potato and sugarcane, which is obvious if I am looking at the ID numbers next to them, but it was still vaguely possible. So, in any case, next step along the line in the... Oh, actually, you know what? I should collect my reward for that. Claim reward. To make bigger barrels, I need copper. I haven't produced copper yet. And to make Baggins bags, well, let's look up a white bag. I'm going to need a bunch of wool. And I simply don't have the ability to mass produce wool and string yet. I'm working on it over there. Or I should say, I've already set it up and now I need to wait for it to finish over there. Which is more accurate. So... Next quest we can do, what the world, the way the world works? No. What the world enables. Using some of the materials you've managed to produce, you may begin to be able to scrape together the beginnings of a workshop grounded in science rather than in the arcane. So, deep breath. Deep breath. You've seen a few things at the bottom of the ocean that might prove useful. It seems some life has survived down there. However, the water is so cold you're having trouble holding your breath. Maybe you can make something to help with that. And it wants me to craft a snorkel. And a snorkel is actually rather cheap. It just uses a couple of glass, and some planks to make glass lenses. And then it is 2 of those lenses plus some sugarcane. And there we are. We have a snorkel. And with that snorkel, which looks hilarious on this player skin, we also get the How to Dive, breathing underwater, which will give you details about making an air pump using the snorkel. Huh. What the heck is that? I don't know. The book is having some issues with some of the recipe changes, it seems. So, and eventually you'll be able to make proper diving helmets, air supplies, scuba gear. You can make some really cool stuff using mariculture. And that... in that vein. Let's see what the quest is. Detection task. It wants me to go gather a pearl oyster. One such thing you've spotted are oysters. These pearls may be quite useful. The easiest way to collect them is probably to break the block they're sitting on. Well, I'm going to have to go and find an ocean, aren't I, if I'm going to get a pearl oyster. Let's see. Let me do a quick look through and see if there's anything else that well, I could make the drawers, but those just give me more drawers and lead to drawer upgrades. So we're going to skip that for the moment. We'll definitely tackle that in a moment. I think that unlike Clouds of Darkness, I'm going to want 100% these quests and take a bit of my time going through them. And this is all asking for more magical stuff, which I'm just kind of waiting for processes to finish. So it just became night. I'm going to sleep through the night, and I'm going to go exploring, seeking an ocean. Now, unfortunately, I have absolutely no mapping available to me yet. As such, I am going to make certain that I note down my coordinates on my F3 screen. Actually, you know what? No. I find that slightly cheaty. I don't think that that is a great way to do things. So what I'm going to do instead is I am going to build a pillar. I have a whole bunch of cobblestone in here. I'm going to make use of it to build a giant pillar right here. And we're going to pillar all the way up and put some torches at the top, and I'll be able to see this from the entirety of my render distance away. Yay! When I decide to cut it down, which will eventually happen, is going to be more of an issue, but hey, you know what else I can do? I can scout from up here. I don't see any water, but I see a cool ravine south of here. Is that south? I don't even know what direction that is. That is west. It's like south, except, you know, not. That is actually going to be an issue. I see no water, no ocean in the distance. Here, let's see if I can crank my render distance higher without destroying my frame rate. Render distance 16 chunks. It's handling it slowly. Yeah. I think it's actually... Oh, now we're getting some lag. Yep, it doesn't like it. Part of the problem is that the distance fog is no longer helping us with the far-off terrain. Nope. Nothing. And it might actually be needing to generate terrain just to fill everything in at this point. Yeah, if I pause the game, it generates that terrain a lot faster and things are good. There we go. Now that view is popping in, and I can see that if I head far enough west, there is in fact an ocean over there. So that's going to be our goal. Huh. That lava pool looks familiar. Makes me wonder if it was the one I spawned in next to when I created this world. In any case, this should be more than enough of a pillar. I'm going to put 4 torches at the top to try to pretend that it's a signal tower. Ah, this is the ugliest thing I have ever done, and I can't believe that I'm using this, but hey, sometimes you just need to use those vanilla mapping mechanics. That's right, 1 meter deep water can save you from a 100-meter fall. Because troll physics. Minecraft is built on troll physics. Alright, now that I know where that is, we're going to turn the render distance back down to something reasonable, like 11 chunks that my computer can handle without crying itself to sleep tonight. I'm going to run off towards that ocean, and I'm going to punch all the plants along the way, hoping to find a pasture seed. When something more... Hey, speaking of a pasture seed... Ha ha ha, that's amazing. Right, I can't do that. Hang on, let me do this, and then, can I do it with a plank at all? Yes, I can, good. Ha. Thought I had finished that one. All right, so pasture seeds plus living wood in the proper pattern creates the Horn of the Wild, and this thing is pretty cool. All I do is give it a blow, and it breaks. Huh, it broke all of them, but it didn't give me anything from them. That's a bit of a shame. Okay, so it does in fact give you things from them. It just, you know, I got very unlucky on my first usage. So yeah, now I'm going to be able to easily work my way through the fields of dead grass to get myself the extra items I need. Right, we are heading that direction because that's where the sea is. And once I reach the sea, I'll be back. Alright, you can see my little pillar of Babel back there, and I am at the sea. And I notice squids! Squids somehow survived! Also, you might notice that I actually have a good bit of air while I'm underwater now. What I don't have is the ability to see more than a few inches in front of my face. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to head over for that Kelp Forest. You can see the strands of kelp coming up from the ground, because there should be coral at the bottom of that that'll provide some light. And while we're at it, we'll kill some squids, because I know I'm going to want some ink sacs over time. Look at that! They give you food! Wow, I really should have started next to the sea. You get raw calamari and raw squid from them. The raw squid can be used to make life core from mariculture, which I forget what that's used for, but actually the raw squid just subs in as any other kind of fish. Oh, you can make calamari food, you can get an aquatic environment analyzer. I can make ocelots with my squid. That's awesome. I'm happy about that. I think the raw calamari from magical crops, yeah, that's a lot less exciting. You can pretty much cook it, and that's it. But hey, ink sacs, they're the important part. Let's focus on what we came here for and why we're slaughtering these things. Oh, hey, look. There's some oil off in the distance from Buildcraft. And hey, look at that. We are still pitch black in the water. Man. And that is with my brightness at 75%. Even if I crank it all the way up to bright, I still can't see a darn thing. I don't know what mod is doing that, but it is a little nasty. I don't see any coral down there. Oh, maybe over there. Don't forget, that's the shore. East is home. If I just travel east, I should be okay. Hey, look at that. Thaumcraft node. And there's another one. Awesome. It is easy to find nodes on the ocean. This is the one thing it has going for it. Yeah, it's so dark under the water. I don't know what's doing that, what's making it so much worse underwater, but geez, I was hoping that the snorkel would help a little bit with vision. It's not. Alright, so let me see if I can find anything under the water with what I've got going on. And this actually kind of makes underwater exploration a bit of an extra challenge. I'm kind of excited now to work my way towards being able to explore the depths of the oceans without so much trouble. Oh hey look, I can definitely see something over there that might give off some light. But not when I'm under. It fades out quickly. What have we here? Dried kelp, that's all. Maybe that's part of the problem. Well, even the kelp that's in the water is dry. Most of the world, even the stuff under the water, is dead. Dried candy cane coral. Yeah, all of this stuff is listed as dried. It's like dead and not working and not lighting things up. Man, this is just a depressing world. What have we done to this place? In any case, I'm going to explore around, try to find myself a... cheating a bit here. Yay, troll physics. Try to find myself an oyster, and when I do, I'll see you then. So this is actually kind of a cool view. Bobbing on the water here, watching the sun come up over that little horizon on the coast, back east where home is somewhere. This pack has managed to make me feel more alone playing Minecraft than almost any other pack has managed, because, you know, your average world, there's all kinds of different terrain types, and you can go find a village or explore underground to find ores and dungeons, and there's just a lot of different places to be. But this one, the whole wasteland thing and having no ores really kind of sells that feeling of desolation, and there's nothing, and you're clinging to the surface of this world, trying to make some sort of decent place in just this awful conditions, which I thought was fun. Wanted to share that with you. More importantly, though, found an oyster way down here at the bottom of this really dark bit of ocean. There, you can see it there. Excellent. 1 pearl oyster. We're going to dig right underneath it, and it'll pop off, and now I can get back to the surface, and we can just leave. We're done. We're going back home. Forget... Oh, whoops, that's the wrong button. East. There we go. Towards the sun. Please don't drown. Yes. So yeah, we're done now. We got our oyster. Things are good. It took a lot of searching around to find it in the dark. I don't like how dark it is underwater, and I'm hoping that I can get something that'll make that a little bit better, but for now, I have the thing that I really need, and I think that this will allow me to start getting some cool mariculture stuff done, because once we get this back home, we'll be able to set up a really neat little oyster farm. Yeah. As soon as I get back to land, which is taking a lot longer than I expected it to, we will hand in this quest. Almost. There we are. Okay. Quest book brings us the, was it What the World? One quest with unclaimed rewards. Fantastic. Oh, we never completed deep, oh, because we couldn't. We needed to get, the oyster, and this gives us 7 more. Awesome. Next quest along the line is Big Daddy. A snorkel works well enough to let you stay underwater longer, but you can only ever have time to grab 1 or 2 things from the ocean floor, and you are still far from being able to reach the bottom of the deeper ocean. The first step is to grab a suit specially designed for diving. Well, I don't think I'm going to be making diving helmet and diving suit anytime soon. It'll increase my ability to move and harvest blocks underwater. Ooh, that's pretty fun. And it'll increase how well you can see while underwater. That's amazing. So let's take a look at the diving gear and see what I need to start making it. Leather. I'm going to need a lot of leather and a lot of copper. That's okay. We're working towards both of those. We're also going to need some iron. Leather. Well, we could do it with blood magic. Okay, we can do some mana infusion to make leather. Good. We can turn our rotten flesh into leather. Let's start heading home. And we're also... Did I ever actually hand in... No, I never actually handed in the quest here. 32 bone meal and 32 floral fertilizer. Good. I was pretty much out of those. Alright, now there's my pillar of goodness back home. I am going to wander around and I'm going to break a bunch more fields of plants and get myself the clay that I need to finish the Clay for Days quest. And I'll have that done between episodes because we are out of time. Thank you very much for joining me, folks. Hope you have enjoyed this episode. If so, and if you would like to continue seeing my videos in your subscription box, please leave a thumbs up and tell me what you liked about it. If not, leave a thumbs down and tell me what you didn't like, and hopefully the next one you see will be better suited to your tastes. See you next time.